Okay. All right. Hi, Mindy. Um, so let's just start off with the first question. What key life experiences have formed who you are today?
So I think there's a few things. I have always worked. So I started working at my dad's company. My dad worked at Icon Office Solutions, which was a copier company here in Tempe. And he was the vice president of customer service. And so when I got my first job when I was 16, I worked there at his office. And so I never had any fun jobs. I never worked at a grocery store or a movie theater, restaurant, or anything like that. I always worked in an office. But it ended up working out really well for me because when I moved out of state in the middle of my college career, it was very easy for me to find a job as compared to even some of my peers at the time who were graduating college but hadn't had any kind of office experience.
You kind of touched on this already, but how did you become passionate and involved in our city?
So I am a native from Arizona, originally from Phoenix. I was born at Doctor's Hospital, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was the campus of Phoenix Children's Hospital right off of the freeway. And I have always sought out connection. My parents married and divorced several times. And so I think at a very early age, I was looking for something that was mine, right? Not families that were changing and dynamics that were always changing. I was always looking for something that was mine. And so in second grade, I started a peer mediation group where I puffy painted matching shirts for my peers and I did a training. And then we posted on the playground at all the corners of the playground. And we told everybody that if they had a problem, that they could come to one of us and we would help them work through it. And so that has just been my mindset always and forever.
So, what are your core values and how are they reflected in your work?
So I think my primary core value is that I believe if we all tried to leave the world better than we found it, that we would be, I'm going to turn so it might get a little weird, sorry, that we would all be in a much better place. And so really in anything that I do, I'm always looking at how I could do it better.
Okay. Why is our city a great city to you?
City government is very active here. It's each city can feel so different, and that's because city government is active versus it just being state government. I think it's cool that we have to seek out cool things. And I love the family friendliness.
What causes, projects, and activities are you involved in and why?
So I am on the Dream Big Gala committee for ICANN. ICANN is a nonprofit in Chandler, Arizona, which services out of school programming for youth. So after school type programming.
What other creators who are focused on similar causes, projects, and activities have influenced you?
So that's a good one. I think any of the folks that I've worked with through the chambers, I think people who do chamber work, I have I think if you were there at the class, I said I have career envy. So I just think everybody's job is so cool. So of the people that work at the chamber, I think their jobs are so cool to help businesses come together and to thrive in community.
How do you collaborate with other groups and individuals to realize your impactful work?
So you can't do anything by yourself. I am a firm believer, and I don't do any of the things that I do by myself.
And what do you recommend I do to become a future creator of our city?
Where do you see a gap? Everybody can only do either what they're passionate about or what their company has enough money to do, right? So it's if you really know this industry or this part of the world and you're doing a good job, what are the parts that you can't touch because you don't have time, because you haven't seen someone do it right, because it's not your company's mission, whatever it is, what are those gaps? And then when you hear those gaps, you're like, is that something that I could be a part of? Coming from the nonprofit world, it's very important not to duplicate services.
Use resources and then fill gaps where you see fit.
Totally.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome.